And this one here, is that a favourite?
It is my favourite. It's a up-to-date picture of me and a picture of Mum when she was well. It's how I prefer to see Mum. That was the Mum I grew up with as a child. That was, Mum that was well, light in her eyes.
A box of memories is all Oceana Jane has left of her mother, Kay. She was just 17, the oldest of 6 children, when Kay took her own life in prison. She had only been there 19 days. With a long history of mental health problems, she was repeatedly punching herself in the face, cutting herself, making ligatures. 11 self-harm or suicide case reviews were opened, but key information ignored.
They were never completed, never filled out. No one looked at them. Her care assessment, no one looked at. There were several things that should have been looked at to help accommodate my mum, and they weren't.
What's your understanding of just how distressed she was becoming?
She was so distressed, especially because she couldn't call us. She had no phone calls with us whatsoever. They didn't top up her phone, so she felt so alone. I know she would have felt so alone.
What now goes through your mind?
That she would have died feeling very alone, and that no one was around her, and that no one had helped her.
And that's very difficult.
Yeah.
Oceana still lives in Exeter, where she grew up with her mother until she became too unwell to look after her family. Kay was arrested for carrying an offensive weapon and harassment after turning up distressed at her ex-partner's house, desperate to see the children. She was sent to prison on remand. Oceana says she should have been sent instead to the hospital nearby.
If she was given the proper treatment, which you would get in a mental health facility, or even out in the community, if she was monitored on probation, she would still be alive. And there's a lot of women that need that treatment, that care, that quality, not to be punished and shut away.
Kay is one of 59 women who died in prison in the 6 years between 2018 and 2024. Almost 40% took their own lives. Saria Hart had only been in prison 7 weeks, an inquest recording serious failings by prison staff. 18-year-old Annalise Sanderson died in prison only 5 days after being discharged from mental health services. And mother of 4, Christine MacDonald, also took her own life after ringing her cell bell to ask for a nurse. The prison didn't act on it. The report also reveals throughout the period the rate of self-harm rose to record levels. It is almost 20 years since a landmark review called for a radical rethink of the way we treat women in the criminal justice system. It followed the deaths of 6 women who took their own lives in jail. Today's report says women are still dying unnecessarily in prison, that it is simply not a safe place for them. This government has launched yet another review aimed at reducing the number of women who end up in jail. The question is, this time, will it deliver? This report in many ways is like a number of reports and reviews that have been done over the past 2 decades. Why are things not changing?
I think deaths actually have become normalised, seen as an unfortunate endemic part of our prison system. And I think successive governments are afraid to take bold action. We pump money into policing and punishment, and yet there's always a prison place for a woman, but there's not somewhere for her to live. There isn't a place in a refuge. There isn't somewhere she can go to get mental health support. And if we dismantled the prison system and put that money into communities, into women, that would then transform their lives, and we wouldn't see this needless death toll repeated.
In a statement, the Ministry of Justice said these deaths are a tragic example of how the prison system is not working for most women, and our thoughts remain with their loved ones. Many women are victims themselves, often of domestic abuse, and over half are mothers. The government has set up a Women's Justice Board to advise on reducing the number of women in jail and are changing the law so more people will serve their sentences in the community.
Nice. So this was
Kay's daughter Oceana says the toll of prison deaths goes way beyond the individual lives lost. The cost paid by those left behind, immeasurable.
I managed poorly. I felt like my world had been taken away from me. I really struggled. I was a month away from being 18. I couldn't manage. No person should lose their mum this young and continue a lot of their life without her.
And if you've been affected by any of the issues in that report, you can seek help by going to channel4.com/support.